Verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting upon a scarlet colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Revelations chapter 17 and verse 3. The Megius Absurdus translation is, and he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting upon the scarlet colored wild beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. I think the scarlet colored beast is a boar, isn't it? Daryl underscores and highlights this. He carried me away in the spirit into a wilderness. Remember that John was on the Isle of Patmos in the spirit for the vision of the glory of Christ and his message to the churches at that uh, time. John was caught up in to heaven. From then on, the scene shifts from heaven to earth. However, here we are told again that John was in the Spirit. Did he need a fresh anointing of the Spirit from this vision? I rather think so. In the wilderness, uh, literal, the remember that this chapter is a vision where symbols are used. Around both Babylon and Rome, there is a literal wilderness. This is a matter of a recorded history. Babylon was to become a wilderness, and in this connection, read Isaiah chapters 47 and 48 and Jeremiah 50 and 51. Outside of Rome, the wilderness is called the Campania. I believe that the wilderness uh, mentioned in this verse is literal, but also that it is a sign of the chaotic conditions of the world brought about by the religious confusion of Babylon. Darrow underscores and highlights this. John saw a woman sitting upon a scarleted colored wild beast. This is a frightful and fearful scene. The wild beast has previously been identified as the Antichrist, ruling over the restored Roman Empire. The woman is identified for us in verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. The woman is a city, and the city is Rome, the religious capital of the world. She is religious Rome, which at that time will have inherited all the religions of the world. You see, all true believers will have uh, left the world scene at the time of the rapture. I was watching a documentary where that Muslims make their way into Europe, and it's interesting, and too along our southern border, but that's a little bit different. But the Muslims hate Christians is my point, and but many Catholic NGOs are helping these Muslims get into Europe, which kind of seemed like to me an oxymoron that you're bringing people in here to kill you. Of course, it's suicide, but I think they see themselves as uh, universal church. That's what Catholic means, and so they uh, put everybody under their umbrella, and that includes Muslims. And we're going to see that. This includes all true believers, and I have discovered that there are many true believers in Romanism and in liberal churches, and even in some very real religious systems. Daryl underscores and highlights this: all genuine believers, regardless of where they have gone to church, will be raptured. This will leave the church on earth that is totally apostate. Rather than being the bride of Christ, God calls it a harlot. The city is further identified in verse 9, and here in the mind which hath wisdom, the seven heads are seven mountains on which the woman sitteth. Rome was a city set on seven hills and also known as such to both pagans and Christian writers. Horace wrote, "The gods which look with favor on the seven hills." Ovid added, but Rome looks around on the whole globe from her seven mountains, uh, the seat of empire and abode of the gods. Augustine wrote, Babylon is a former Rome, and Rome is a later Babylon. In these verses, the city of Rome is uh, assuredly in view. The woman, the harlot, represents a religious system that will be revealed during the first part of the Great Tribulation period, after the true church has been removed from the earth. And this religious system, as the symbol given to us indicates, dominates, and rides the Roman Empire at the beginning of the Great Tribulation period. Daryl has this underscored and highlighted, full of names of blasphemies, reveals how far religion will have departed from the living Christ. And